Hello! I hope you guys did your Algebra 1 vocabulary for section 1-2. Alright, and for this section we're dealing with exponents and powers. So I'm going to explain what that is before we go into our examples. Basically, a power is a number that has an exponent. Okay? And the exponent tells me how many times I multiply this number by itself. So, for example, I have 2 to the power of 3. That means that I need to multiply 2 3 times by itself. 2 times 2 times 2, which gives me 8. But this is my main focus right here. That power is called the exponent. Okay, to the power of 3 means 3 is my exponent, while 2, the number that I'm multiplying by itself, is its base. Okay? You'll also be dealing with grouping symbols, which is basically parentheses. And when you see parentheses, it's telling you do this first. So when you see parentheses, you always want to do the parentheses first and then do the rest at the end. And we'll do more of that for the next section. So, it's also telling me these formulas. So the area of a square, since all of the sides of a square are the same, it's side times side, okay, or base times height that you've seen in a square or rectangle. The volume of a square, again, all the sides are the same, and you just do side times side times side, volume. It's kind of, you're finding how much it is to fill up a cube. Okay? So go ahead and pause, write this down. Again, don't forget to do the vocabulary, and we're going to do the examples, and then you're home free. This shouldn't be too big. Oh, this erased. Okay, so this is telling me to evaluate when A equals 1 and B equals 2. So remember in the prior sections, this is telling us the value of each variable. So we're going to plug it in, and then we're going to go ahead and solve. So A equals 1 squared plus B, which is 2 squared. Okay, and it says to do the parentheses first. So I'm going to do 1 times 1. This tells me how many. 1 times 1, which is 1. And 2 times 2, which is 4. These are in parentheses. Okay, so I start from the in parentheses and move out if there's more than one group of parentheses. So 1 plus 4 is 5. Alright? Now this one is a little different because this squared right here means that first I'm going to do the inside and then I'm going to square it. So it kind of looks like we're doing the same thing, but we should be getting a different answer. So 1 and then B is 2. Okay? So 1 plus 2 is 3, and then that's when we square. So that means that I'm going to multiply 3 times itself twice, which gives me 9. Okay? The next one is to evaluate when x equals 4. So now my variable is x equals 4. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to go ahead and plug it in. Okay, so that means 4 times 4 is 16 times 32. 16 times 4, not times 32. It's not 32, it's 64. So 4 to the power of 3, so 4 times 4 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16, times 4 is 64. And then I'm going to go ahead and multiply that by 2. It's been a long day, so I am using my calculator if that's weird. It's 128. Okay? I do the power first. The power is only attached to the 4, so I'm not going to do 2 to the power of 3. It's just 4 to the power of 3, and then I multiply my end with 2. So let's try this one. This one, now, because it's in parentheses, this 3 applies to both. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and I'm going to distribute it to both. Actually, an easier way to do this, you could distribute it to both, or I can just do 2 times 4, okay, which is 8, and then just cube it. So 8 times 8 is 64, times another 8, which is 512. So ignore that distribution thing. We'll learn that step in another section, but basically I'm going to plug in the 4. So I'm going to do 2 times 4 first, because that power of 3, unlike this one that's only attached to the x, this parentheses tells me that it's attached to both the 2 and the x. So I have to do what's inside first, and then I go ahead and finish it off with 8 cubed, which is 512. So go ahead and write this down. Pause and write it down, and finish off with page 12, number 11 and 12. So page 12, number 11 and 12. Thanks.